the process when we have a change order? Because right now there's a situation where it's like it's so easy for us to all get off, like not be on the same page. And when I say all of us, it's painters, and then you two, and then definitely you. You're left out in the blue right now for sure. I guess what I want, and I think you guys can kind of just figure it out between like the system or whatever. But I think we for sure need to make sure that number one, the painters aren't just doing work when that's not on the scope of work, right? And so the painters need to know, and we need to communicate this with the painters. The painters need to know that if the homeowner asks them, right, that it has to come to John. And then I don't know what the exact steps is, but at that point we need to make sure we have the price, another contract signed before any work, and another scope of work. I think we should do another scope of work so it's not just, because if you're doing a bigger project, I mean, just like the Brown job, I mean, it got to be where there's a little bit, just because there's a few add-ons there, and then now it's like, well, what's what? And we didn't have anything signed, we didn't have scopes of work. So I think before we start that work, we got to have the contract signed for the amount, and we got to have, just like it's a whole new job, essentially, and a scope of work.
Just doing it by the book, basically.
And a scope of work. It's going to cover us, our painters, and, everyone, I think. And then we need to make sure that you're getting it, so that you can get it in QuickBooks. Yeah, because we need to not only get it on our production manager sheet, but we also need to get the invoice rocking so that our books are right when I'm looking at the books and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And I don't know what, I guess, because I'm not doing your job every day, and I'm not doing your job every day, and I'm not doing your job every day. So that's why I kind of wanted you guys to kind of be able to just kind of figure out what you're thinking as far as the best process, most efficient process, and just that all of our bases are covered, and we have contracts for everything, scopes of work for everything, and we're getting paid for everything.
Okay, so and the situation I got right now with they painted her house. They're finished with it, but she wants us to come back and repaint the trim. She doesn't like the colors. Not that she picked the wrong color, or that we did it wrong. She just wants it. She doesn't like the color she picked.
Oh, wild.
So we need to. What's the step here? I mean, now the people have already gone.
So she needs to pay, and then it's another job essentially.
Right. And I think she's okay with that. But so now, what's our step? I'm gonna have you go there and give her a bid.
Yeah, I'll just go out there but
This is just crazy. Wow, I never imagined this being
A thing.
Yeah. All right, go for it. Sorry.
I mean, she's willing to pay the bill that she owes right now, and she said that. She goes, whatever I owe right now. But also, that being said, we did. I got to look at that scope of work because I guess she was going to change the doors out, and she didn't. We didn't paint them. But anyway, I'll look at that. Anyway, so we need to go back to her and give her a price and have her sign and do a scope of work and do it up. I did explain to her that we won't be able to get back to her right away. That that's.
I can get over there. Oh, the painters can.
Painters.
Yeah.
She
I
understands.
can, but yeah, okay, yeah.
But so that's our thing. So
now it's like a whole new project.
Yeah.
So
Right? When you roll up there.
So that from that point on, now where do we go from there? How does that go into the system? Is that going as a whole new as a new
I'll
thing?
go out there and get a whole new sheet, and that particular one, I guess, wouldn't be a change of work add-on. It would be one of our regular contracts.
Okay.
That particular one. I guess the only thing that's kind of, my only comment from the Browns, and then from even Craig, and even Sharon just kind of illustrated it, is they're just so indecisive that I have to ask them, and it's really just, it falls on me too. Like going out to the Browns a few times just falls on me, and even with Craig, where I guess I just have to really just, are you sure? And no siding, no trim, no just, lay it out in front of them, because this is happening kind of, it's becoming kind of a pattern where I get that the customers are a little undecisive, so I just have to.
They came to me and I found out that they were painting the windows and they shouldn't have been, and so I went to them and said, told them the situation. Now I called you and said, okay, we need to make sure that this is, we get this straightened out, that what they want for the porch, and she took that out now, and you know what I'm saying, because you were there.
She walked me around. I walked around. I sat them down, both of them together, and I said, let's go see what you want to do. And they're like, okay, we got to do this together because And I'm
but
like,
you were there before that.
Yeah.
And gave them a bid, and didn't they pay on that before that?
We billed them, but they never ended up paying yet. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went back out.
All right. So what's the answer here when they come to me and they say, okay, I want this, this, and this, and then I call you? Should I be out there with you? I mean, so we don't have. So we don't have, because it's like the other job we just did here in town. I called you and said, hey, let's go over, and they want a price on the siding, and then the guy turns around and doesn't say anything to you about it, and you never, and then so you never. Did you ever go over there, or you just talked to him on the phone?
Yeah, and
got
the
okay,
siding
but you didn't ever went over the first time. You just talked to him on the phone. And
Yeah,
he
just
said
talked
no.
to me and said, because, I asked him, the specific questions were, is anything that's on the contract now coming off? And he said, yes, the bay windows. And then, this is the second, is there anything that isn't on the contract now that we want to add? See, this is why I couldn't, that's why I was so what the heck? Because he's like, no. So I'm like, okay, I'm not,
Okay.
Yeah, you just come back and then you're like, what about the siding? Like, what siding? We talked for 10, 15 minutes. You didn't bring it up one time.
And
he said he's
when he
going
went back to him, he's like, yeah, I went to siding.
Yeah, we never had the conversation.
So
Okay, I'll go there.
So yeah, I don't know what's most efficient. I don't know if it's just easy, if it's a smaller, we're in the middle of it and it's smaller.
I think
It's like this one where we're going back to paint the trim. I mean, that's essentially a whole brand new job. So that's not an issue, right? Because you're just going to go back out there and refit the whole job. But then these change orders, I mean, like you were talking, it might just be easy enough where you have a contract and you have some estimate sheets and we
Yep.
just make sure.
I
You
think
got an
I-
estimate with me the first
Right.
time, and they're pretty self-explanatory.
I think I can figure it out instead of calling you and try to get you out there because your time's going to get less and less for you to be able to just drop and run. You know what I'm
and
saying?
either you need the authority to make the change, because that's why they tell you all sorts of stuff, because they don't have to actually decide when you're there. And I think that's probably
be.
what it is. And
It might be.
if they had to decide, then they're going to tell you.
And then it gives them some time where it's like, oh no, I wasn't serious about that. Now if you thought about it, I see what you're saying.
But I don't know why they didn't. Well, either way. I mean, I
Well,
don't care.
that was an interesting situation there with them, and because she told me, one thing, and then he came out in the parking lot and met me and asked me what was going on. So it was very, very when he was sitting right there. So.
But some of this stuff's happened enough where it's not, I thought it was going to be more of like we'll brush on the rug, and now it's like happening all the time, which is fine. We just need an answer for it. That's going to be where we're not running around and we don't have the right numbers, and we don't have an actual contract signed, we don't have a scope of work,
Right.
and then our painters are just going, right? It's like if our painters know that they're never doing anything until there's a scope of work, which they need to know, then
Yeah.
we
Well,
would have started those windows and whatever, right?
Right. It's like Ryanga's right now. I mean, we added the stoop. I don't have anything in writing saying that
Right.
we're going to do that for $275 bucks.
Right.
So
Yep.
I need to get that written up and have them sign that.
I'm 100% willing to run out and go.
But I don't.
But it
think-
might not be efficient.
I don't think it's efficient because this $275, I don't think it's I don't think it's efficient to have you run out to wherever to even for 6 windows. It's not
Right.
efficient for you to drop what you're doing bids for $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 to then go do a change order for $400.
Yeah.
It's not.
And the reason I called you on in that situation though, all I did was go to her and say, hey, we weren't supposed to be painting the windows. Do you want them painted? We're going to have to charge. And she said, yeah, that's fine. And then she turned around and said, I don't want the porch done now. And then I'm like, okay, here we go. I got to get this all changed around. So I guess if I would have handled it right on the spot, none of this would have came. Like you said, things got.
I wouldn't blame you.
No, it's not a blame thing. It's just that.
Well, and we're all just moving so fast that now it's like we move so fast that 24 hours goes by and so much has already changed, and you've done more estimates, and now our painters are already moving along because we're putting pressure on them to get stuff done
Right.
fast. So it's like everything moves so fast. We just
Yeah, I'd rather catch the situation right on the spot, and then take care of it before our painters are out of there.
I think it's great if you can, you can make adjustments, because
Right.
I mean,
But I think it's as simple as the process looks the exact same as when we do a brand new job, even for a change order. It's just because we have the contract, the estimate basically, the contract.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to go to accounting, scope of work.
So
How would I change that in the same invoice that's already going on if I get a change or add-on sheet for the same thing?
Well, I know in what we've been doing for our production spreadsheet is we just create a whole separate line, like it's a whole separate job. I'm
then I can
indifferent. I just once
Because I
again.
can just change the amount on that spreadsheet and just do another line on the invoice for the add-on.
Mhm. But then also, if the add-on and change order is large enough, and I don't know what you guys think, but if it's large enough, we need to make sure we're getting still
A separate
a
job.
deposit.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Get the positive.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, $275 with them, I'm not as worried about. But I mean, if it's a change order, like I mean,
like the $900 or whatever it was, $700.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
the $900 down. I mean,
if we're pushing 1,000 or 2,000, I mean, I think we need to have.
and that makes the commitment, and then
Yes.
they can't come back again and say, "Oh, we decided again." You know what I'm saying? So.
I mean, I found it easiest to do everything at one time right there. I mean, if I'm in the process or not, it was still. I mean, it still didn't turn out right because they ended up doing the windows. But Friday, I just went out there, sat them both down, established a new price, got them to sign, called Ember on the spot. They paid that. They paid the down payment. They paid the other money they owed, and it was like until they. Well, I guess I didn't notice. I guess our guys were either paying the fascia soffit or they might have been paying the windows when I was standing there and didn't think about it. But even then, it wouldn't have been resolved at that point. But I mean, that's the best way I can think of getting it done, the fastest way. But there was still air, you know.
And there's the thing, I think the other thing too is that what happened in the Brown is that, I called you and I said, hey, we need to get the windows added to it, and I don't think you understood that I meant the windows outside.
Oh, that's right.
When I called you and said, hey, we were painting the windows and we're not, you know what I'm saying? So I think there was a miscommunication between us on that. So
yeah.
I think after you make the bid out, before you have them sign it, and maybe you should give me a quick call and say, hey, is this what was expected on there, or something? Because you don't know, because those two couldn't remember, or they were indecisive of what was going on. So they told me one thing, and then they came around and told you something else.
But am I moving forward going to be a part of the
So,
change?
That's what
Or
I think.
am I
That's
not
what we
gonna
need
be?
to decide. That's what we need to decide.
Yeah, this is what we need to decide. I mean,
What do you guys? I already know what I think. What do you guys think?
I think I should take it. I should take the lead on that when it comes to a change.
That's where I'm at.
Because I'm willing to do whatever you guys need outside of my scope. Because I'm a team player, we're trying to get it all done. But yeah, I do think it's.
I agree there too.
So once the change comes in, then where does it go from there? Once I make a change order up, am I going to be
Now, when we're
responsible?
talking change order, are we just going to use our regular same contract?
Like
I almost
that?
think we just do our regular same contract.
Because you did make a form at one point.
For a change or add-on.
Oh, I did?
This is the form, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's pretty much the contract.
It's
It
the
just
same
says
thing, it just
change
says
or.
the
But we just you got the wording of
Whatever, that's
what
fine.
we're doing.
Yeah.
So and then I do this. I set this up, get them signed, get the money for them, and then
Well, my process, John, is when I get a contract, then we get the payment, and then it just goes to scope of work.
okay. So I'm going to make the scope of work up.
And I get this with the payment.
Okay. So I'm going to go in and make the scope of work. What's going to happen?
With the
Okay, I just want to make
change.
sure.
Yeah.
That's what I want to make sure.
And that's good too because then instead of me to you to or me to the scope. Well, anyway, there's just one you directly to
But
the
all
painters
that,
instead.
all
of,
that stuff should be done. Sign, scope of work, communicate with painters through accounting before we start it.
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't take all of us work fast enough and efficient enough where
Well,
it shouldn't.
Are these gonna have John's name on them then?
That's what I know. That is one difference between the change
Yeah.
and the. But that's
Yeah,
perfect.
the-
That's the way.
yeah.
Because then I'll just
yeah.
give them back to John.
Yeah, you know it says estimator.
okay. The only thing is that if I do a change order and the painters are there, they need to keep going.
Yeah, that's fine.
You
So
know.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but
then
then
once
when I
again,
get to the
think-
office,
I think if it's above, what do we want to call it? If it's above 500 or above 750 or whatever, we need to make sure we have an extra 25% deposit.
okay. Yeah, let's
Why don't we
make
go
a call
even
on that. Let's
500?
500 and get a deposit at 5.
So then I guess as long as
Or
we
25%.
have the contract signed, and then a job that's big enough 25%, then we can start right away. If you are good with that with
Yeah.
the painters, and then
Yeah.
we can get this through to accounting and all that stuff.
Okay.
Then I can get everything updated. I can even add it to the scope. Well, no, I can add it to the production spreadsheet.
Yeah, if I got the check in my hand, I just don't keep going. Then. So, okay.
What do we want to put the amount at where we're taking another deposit?
I think $500
Okay.
is should be a cutoff. Anything above $500, we need to.
For the total, John?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
So if
then-
the change order itself is above 500,
Yeah.
that's where we'll take another 25%. I think I'm fine with that.
I like that.
And hopefully
Yeah,
this
I'm
will
good with that.
eliminate some of the problems that we're just running into and whatever.
Is that going to make it a separate invoice then, no matter what, or is what size do we want to make it
I
a
mean,
separate
I don't know.
invoice? Or should it just be a separate?
Like this one, that one we were talking about where he's gonna go we're basically
Oh,
redoing.
No, that one.
Miller?
Yeah, that'll be.
That's a new
That'll
job.
be a
That's-
complete
yeah.
new job. That'll be a complete new invoice because she'll pay the whole thing up.
Yeah.
This, I don't know. Whatever you guys think, I don't. I don't need to get that far in the weeds with it. Whatever you guys think is, and I don't know that all of us.
Well, the
care
difference is
necessarily.
came to a full completion with the previous
Right.
job. Well, that's the
So
difference
that's what I'm saying.
between
Is
yeah,
she's
yeah,
not paying full before we even go back out there. I mean,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
before
Yeah.
you
Yeah, oh,
go back
absolutely.
and
And
edit it.
she's willing to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, she's yeah.
Well,
So
so that's the difference
that'll
between
be
I
this
guess
one
resident.
and
if
some
it's,
of the
if
other
it's
ones.
$500 or more, then I'll just make it a separate invoice. If it's smaller than that, I can add it on because they're not paying a separate deposit.
Oh,
Just
that's
being
true
added
too.
to that original
Yeah,
invoice,
that'll work.
and I can update the spreadsheet.
I just what I care about is that our production spreadsheet matches what we got in QuickBooks,
Yes.
and vice versa. That we're that's the
Yeah.
amounts and stuff.
Well, I'm basically out of the change process. Although I'm willing, willing to help you guys out whenever you need it. Or if you're not available and I am, I can.
Yeah, I'll
Fill in.
call you and just
Yeah.
say we can between
Yeah.
you and I we can work that out.
And I mean, there might be a little bit of a bigger one where it's $2,000 and it'll take a little bit longer to do it or something, and you're busy,
It's
and
more
it's in
appropriate.
Janesville or
Yeah.
Milton or Edgerton, it's right here, and whatever. It might make sense then at that
And
point,
that's fine.
right?
Yeah, we're a
But-
team, so it's all good.
What do you need, John, from us, or as far as being able to just make sure that our estimates equal and all that stuff? I mean, you've done the estimate sheet with me before.
Right, and I think I need to go through it. I mean, I only did it that one quick time, so I just want to make sure that I know what we're charging for linear feet and all that. I just need to know those prices, and obviously it's on there. So
Yep.
so all I got to do is just measure it quick.
See, I think you'll still do just like we would do another job. You'd still have an estimate sheet that we're going to staple to this. So then what's
Okay.
it going to see man hours and
Okay.
product and whatever. So
Okay.
We're just getting into my jobs now because Miller's was, really Justin, sold that one.
Mhm.
So we're just after Miller though. It's pretty much we're getting to my deal. So I'm curious too to see how they come out.
well, but then some of these first deals were at our lower price points.
Yeah, that we changed
Maybe
the
the
algorithm.
first like
a few-
5 or 6 or 7
Yeah.
or whatever. But then after that, our price points went up higher. So we'll.
Yeah, we changed
Just see where we're at and
point
just
40
change
to
that
point
stuff
45.
later.
Yeah, a few algorithms.
All right. What else?
I got the numbers for Brown and Craig, but we can.
Yeah, I'll let you
get
guys
back to
clean
that.
that up, and then you can call them to get payment.
Yeah.
I think you got that all straightened out.
All
We can,
done.
all right. So Ted, was that already? Did I already move that up? I wonder if I look see if they
No,
were.
that was done.
But I mean, I wasn't. I didn't.
Oh, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I moved it up in the GSR because I was waiting for full payment. I don't know if I moved
Oh,
it
I
or not.
finished up the putting in the payment. I just
Okay.
didn't move it up.
Okay. All right.
All right. If we don't have anything else, then we can roll. All right. Cool.